Right, so I managed to get some stuff done during the week, during the evenings. So I've spray painted a bunch of parts, and I have ordered some new parts as well. So I just thought I'd give you a quick update, a couple of minutes, no video, just pictures of the progress. But before we do that, just generally looking at the condition of what we've taken off last time. So it was all of the final drive and the intermediate. And one thing I wanted to note was whether I needed to replace that rear main seal. And a close inspection on it kind of implies that it is needed. There's some dust. I was expecting oil in the pan there, but it turned out to just be moist dust. So I think there is enough oil for me to want to do it. But hopefully it's not the main seal. Hopefully it is just an O-ring. So I'm going to progressively tackle this and just, might as well dive in and do it. So, yeah. Also, as you recall, the splines were in quite condition, so I did a bit more of an inspection on them. I was quite happy with how they look. There's no damage or anything to them. They look pretty good to me. So I've bought the paste that you need. So when we put them back, I'll be putting the correct paste and the correct that molly grease stuff. Oh, I also got my wheels back. Oh my goodness, look at the colour. It's supposed to be gold. It looks a bit yellow, but if I change the filters, I actually can't get the cameras to take the same colour, so I don't really know what it looks like until it's on the bike. Okay, so first was to clean the swing arm thoroughly again and to tape it up. That was after the first coat of primer, which I did using Duplicolor engine primer. And then I used very high temperature engine paint. There's a couple of coats. That's a bit of a wet coat. I was actually really happy with how it came out. You'll see a bit later. I also tackled this bloody rear brake disc that we couldn't separate. I finally managed to get those bolts out with hammers and heat. There the culprits are. So I'll get new ones of those. And then sort of decided to tackle cleaning both the final drive and the brake disc together. The brake disc came out pretty well. I was quite happy with how it looks. It's pretty clean, both sides. And actually the disc itself is pretty good still, so I'm going to try and retain this. I then went to the final drive, cleaned it as much as I could and taped it up as much as I could. I did drain the oil and then put the bolt back in. You can see there's the bolt hole, the drain hole. I did put the bolt back and torqued it correctly. So and then taped it up. It's difficult to know if it's rough enough for the primer to adhere, but what can you do? I'm just going to give it a go. So hopefully it's clean enough. I did a lot of isopropyl alcohol at the end. Anyway, there's after the first coat or two of primer, both the disc and the final drive, both sides. And then the black paint going on, the high temperature paint. And I think that's probably coat 2 or 3, looking very wet still. And then I experimentally have cured the brake disc in the oven because it's going to get very hot, so I thought I would like to pre-cure it. And I really like how it's come out. I think it looks really good. And even zoomed up, it's a very nice matte colour, which is exactly what we wanted for everything except the engine casing. I then tackled the transmission housing. So spent quite a lot of time plugging up holes and taping up and covering the inside. There's I think the first or second coat of primer from a couple of different angles, and I was hanging it up so I could get all the way around it. And then there's the high temperature paint from a couple of different sides as well. Put 3 coats of both, 3 coats of primer, 3 coats of top coat with the right spacings, and look how that came out. I'm really happy with how that looks. I think it looks really good. Hopefully it's durable. Hopefully it doesn't chip like hell. We'll have to see. I'm just going to be really, really careful, and hopefully it'll remain looking like that. I then also did the clutch lever or the actuator. Again, same treatment, lots of cleaning, lots of scuffing. I don't have really good pictures of it, so I think I've got 1 or 2 pictures of it primed and 1 picture of it painted. Really not too much to see. And it's just had its 3rd coat this evening, so there it is, all coated and drying out in my shed. Okay, so that's all that got done. I then ordered some parts. So there's the swing arm bearing. If you recall, one of the swing arm bearings in the final drive wasn't great. It also had a hole in the blanking cap, so I ordered a new blanking cap for the one side. And here's this O-ring that I'm hoping is the only problem that I need to replace. But I've also bought the rear main seal just in case. That's the new version. And of course, whenever you take this stuff apart, you've got to put new bolts. So there's 6 new clutch bolts and 6 new washers. And there's a final cap as well. So there's the flywheel center nut that goes on afterwards as well. So this weekend, we're going to tackle the main rear seal and see how we get on. That should be fun. Anyway, that's just the update for the week, midweek update. Yeah, and things keep trucking along. Money is being spent.